Welcome back class 10, your history class. Today we will study Khilafat movement. So what happened after the First World War? Germany surrendered. Germany surrendered in November 1918. Turkey also stopped fighting. A peace treaty, a very harsh peace treaty, was imposed on the Sultan of Turkey. The Sultan of Turkey was also known as the Caliph or Khalifa, that was head of the Sunni Muslims. The Turkish Empire collapsed. Turkish Empire, by the by, is also known as the Ottoman Empire. Turkey lost all the territories inhabited by the peoples other than the Turks. The Sultan was deprived of real authority even over those territories which were left under his control. This angered the Muslims in India. What happened was, the head of the Muslims, Caliph, after Ottoman Empire collapsed, the Caliph lost all his power. So when the Muslim leader, world Muslim leader of the Sunni Muslims, lost all the powers, it angered the Muslims who were in India. So what happened in India? A Khilafat committee was formed. A committee was formed known as the Khilafat Committee to champion the cause of Caliph of Turkey. Since Caliph was, he lost all the powers. To bring back his powers, a committee was formed in India. Two Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, were the leading lights in the campaign. Gandhiji very cleverly saw as an opportunity to bring the Hindus and Muslims close together. So Gandhi saw it as an opportunity of uniting the Hindus and the Muslims. He advised the Khilafat committee to adopt a policy of non-cooperation with the government. What did Gandhiji say? Gandhiji said, see, in your movement, you have started a movement, incorporate non-cooperation movement along with it. In the Khilafat movement, Gandhiji advised to incorporate non-cooperation movement. Okay. This non-cooperation movement campaign started on 1st August 1920. The program of the Khilafat movement included, what did it include? It included resignation from the government services, resignation from the government post, boycott of councils, refusal to pay taxes, and refusal to join the army. The Muslims of India demanded that territories and powers which the Sultan of Turkey had lost should be restored to him. What did the Muslims of India demanded? That whatever power and territory that Caliph has lost must be reinstored or must be given back. Now, what is the significance of Khilafat movement? The Khilafat movement exercised great influence over the Muslim masses. It is very influential for the Muslim masses. Later, the Congress also launched the non-cooperation movement. Congress, along with it, also launched the non-cooperation movement. So this is the first time, never before had any movement received the willing support of so many people, the Hindus and Muslims alike. So this is the first time in India that any movement against the British received such huge support from both the Hindus and the Muslims. The Khilafat movement contributed a sense of national unity. What did it contribute? It had a sense of national unity. Now, how did this movement end? The movement ended died a natural death when Mustafa Kemal Pasha deposed the Sultan of Turkey, thrown out the Sultan of Turkey, and showed no concern for the holy places of Islam. So after Mustafa Kemal Pasha came and threw out the Caliph and showed no concern for the holy places of Islam, so they thought that no, there is no use of continuing the movement. He finally abolished the caliphate and separated the state from religion. For the first time, the state was being separated from the religion. Mustafa modernized education, agriculture, and industry. He developed Turkey on secular and progressive lines. So Turkey started progressing. So with that, we came to end of Khilafat movement. Now, today we will start with the non-cooperation movement of 1920. Now, what is non-cooperation? Not cooperating with the Britishers. Let us see how it started. The Jallianwala Bagh tragedy had created an unbridgeable gulf. An unbridgeable gulf, that means a distance which cannot be bridged, which cannot be brought together between the Indians and the British rulers. A non-cooperation campaign had already been launched by the Khilafat movement in August 1920, blessed by a person no less than Gandhiji. For its success, support of congressmen was also essential. Now, meaning and objective of non-cooperation movement. What is the meaning? A special session of Congress was held in Kolkata 4th September 1920. It accepted Gandhi's plan. The special session accepted Gandhi's plan of non-cooperation with the government till their demands were fulfilled. So a resolution of non-cooperation movement was formally ratified and passed in the regular session of Congress at Nagpur, December 20. See, in September 20, 1920, non-cooperation movement was accepted and it was passed in Nagpur session 1920 December. Non-cooperation meant not to cooperate with the evildoer. Who are the evildoer? The Britishers. And Gandhi asked the countrymen not to assist the foreign government to rule over them. So, what did non-cooperation movement try to achieve? Basically, it tried to achieve three things. Number one, restoring the old status of Sultan of Turkey. The Sultan of Turkey should be given his lost prestige and post. Number two, punishing those guilty at atrocities in Punjab. Atrocities means disasters or evil things, massacre which has happened in Punjab. And number three, attaining Swaraj for India. Three things the non-cooperation movement objectives are there. Number one, restoring the old status of the Sultan. Number two, punishing the guilties who are responsible for the atrocities in Punjab, and attaining Swaraj for India. Gandhi promised Swaraj in 1 year if his program was fully implemented. Gandhi promised that if the non-cooperation movement is perfectly implemented, India will get Swaraj within a year. So these are the three objectives. But what were the program? Now, non-cooperation movement launched by Gandhi had two kinds of program: negative and positive. The negative aspect of the program referred to boycott of legislative councils, boycott of law courts by lawyers, boycott of government schools and colleges, boycott of British goods, surrender of titles and honorary posts. So what were the negative aspect? Negative aspect is that Indians should boycott the legislative councils, Indian lawyers should boycott the law courts, Indian students should boycott the government school and colleges, Indians should boycott the British goods, and whatever the Rai Sahib, Rai Bahadur, Sir, Babu, all the titles, honorary titles which the Indians received from the Sir. If you know that Tagore received knighthood, Tagore received the title of Sir which was given by the Britishers for this Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. So, surrender of titles, these are the negative aspect. What are the positive aspect of the program? Hindu-Muslim unity, removal of untouchability, promotion of Swadeshi, especially homespun, homemade woolen and khadi, cotton, cloth, and prohibition of intoxicating drinks. Prohibition means not allowing, prohibit, to stop, not to take. Intoxicating drinks means alcohols and other drinks which intoxicates us. So this is the, so we have learnt about the why non-cooperation movement started, what was the meaning and objectives, and the programs. Okay, next class we'll study the non-cooperation movement in further details. That is all for today. Thank you.